Yeah, I could tell. I could tell she was a mess and a half. A mess and 3/4.
I was like, okay, I can't with this bitch.
Yeah. Literally or figuratively, I can't with this bitch. I don't blame you. I told when we went to get Cougar helped choose us because he was so much like us. But looking at this little white cat, this long hair too. We already discussed we don't want long hair or white hair for the get out on the furniture or nothing. No, But wait a minute, he was playing with this white long hair. What's the flat face cat? The Shih Tzu, and that thing was so crazy. That thing was so crazy.
A Himalayan? Is that what they call them?
I think it would have been a Himalayan, but it was a flat one of them. One of them flat face things, but it was doing 360s right in his arms. I was like, why is he even considering this damn thing? So I told the lady, I saw this one cat just being chill while all the cats was running all around him like stupid little immature thing. I was like, oh, that's I know that's our baby. And so I said, can you hand me that the Abyssinian? Well, I didn't know it was an Abyssinian at the time, but I said, can you hand me that one? So she handed it to me and had that crazy white cat. And I was like, oh, let me see it. And so I took the white cat and I was like, hold him. So I let him do the work. So it held Cougar and he was like, oh yeah, this our cat. We left with that baby then. But yeah, I can't with no crazy animal though. And I like that he was never like a regular cat. It make you scared to get another one when you get the perfect one. It make you scared to get another one. Yeah. Okay, so tell me about.
Oh, girl, you gonna make me cry?
No, don't cry.
Even this many years later, I still.
Some who or where? some who did what to who? I need some of whatever that is. But I don't know what's wrong with me. Just recently, I said, I was like all this time because I was one of those kids. Like my mother didn't make us go through the castor oil trauma, so it wasn't that thing. And so I was like, and so finally, after all these years, I was like, because even when I was a young girl, I didn't go like regular people. But now that I'm older, it's affecting me and making me feel heavy and just staying. And I can see it's affecting me. And so like I said, it never, it was just normal for me not to go like regular people. But now I really feel it and it just adding on to it. So I went ahead and I was like, what? I was like, I've been through so much stuff. I've been through stuff that came on the market and got taken off. That's how long I've been trying to figure something out. And so I was like, I never did try the basic old school castor oil. Why I never try that? So I did. And lo and behold, I was like, what's wrong with me? All this old stuff. What's wrong with me? I was like, I can't even. I was like, it's oil. It don't even taste that bad. They was like, nope. I don't even want to discuss it.
It was awful. I mean, throw it up. I'm going to whip your ass and you're going to have to take twice to do it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Girl. And I was like, I never did that. I was like, but from the way my shit, pun intended, works, I probably should have been forced to try to do it when I was young. Girl, I was considering having colonic and looking for a gastric doctor for me, which I got pissed off at him because he's sick, but he looking for me, specialist.
Look, let me tell you something.
Girl, I might go once a week, but sometimes I tell him I go twice because he gets worried now.
No, we got to get you better than that.
Yeah,
no,
girl.
And at this stage in the game,
I can feel it like in my face and in my body and my weight gain. And when I eat, it's gotten so bad that now I don't even have an appetite when I eat just because I know I should eat, but it don't come out. I do, I swear.
We were some antibiotic popping people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're fantastic at masking stuff. So I have to say they do work, but they fantastic at masking stuff, and then they turn.
Just masking.
Yeah.
That's it.
That medication will do other stuff. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
you have to intentionally cleanse that shit.
Yes.
out.
Yeah. The older I get and the more I take in knowledge, but when you using your common sense too, it's really mind blowing, and you can't just have these conversations with regular people because they're like they're supposed to be because our whole lives you get conditioned, you get trained, and I just
absolutely, baby.
I don't even. And I was saying how I told my mama too, but I already knew what to expect when I told her. But I told my dad as well. I was surprised at myself, but I'm grown now. It's all coming out. And so I told the preacher too. I was like, I asked him if he ever smoked marijuana, and he was like, oh no, never. He was in the military too.
Was that your daddy or preacher?
But my daddy was a preacher.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
I knew that. But somehow it blinked. I was thinking of a separate person.
Yeah, girl. I came up out of my recluse and called my dad, bitch, on Father's Day. And so that night, it was that Sunday night of Father's Day, I talked to him for an hour and a half. hour and a half. But during that conversation, I asked him if he ever smoked marijuana. I was like, I know you said marijuana. And so he was like, oh no, what it is, oh no, never. And I was like, oh, okay, my daddy been good in condition, good. So I was like, he said something, I don't do no, something, he went, I don't do no, some kind of deadly drugs, addictive drugs, something he said, and I said, oh, okay. I was like, that's good. And I said, well, I was like, you do know if it at any point becomes legal where I am, you do know your daughter is going to be... I said, I've always been, different and a free thinker in general, but I didn't think twice about that particular thing. But man, I would have done had my parents so drugged. I would have not all the time, but I would sneak some stuff in their food. Probably we'd be talking and get closer than ever. We would have the closeness that my mama was trying to get when I was trying to, fighting her all the way as a teenager. We would have been so doggone close. And I'd be seeing people, enjoying it with different generations, and I'd be like, oh, why people can't just, it just make you sit and talk, And I watched something where it was a rabbi and a priest and a girl, a black gay Jew. And
I saw it.
You did, girl. Yes, and having a real conversation, and they actually bonded before they left that table. And I was like, why people don't see that, and we act like we don't even see people who having seizures on the spot, and they get somebody slipped them that oil. Rick Simpson is my unofficial uncle from another grandmother. Rick Simpson, and he done moved like different because they took his little equipment, and he's like, I have never not once sold this. He's like, I'll tell you how to make it, you know what I mean? He was like, but all these people saying they got, Rick Simpson on and stuff, he's like, it might be made well. He's like, but I'm not putting my name on none of that. That's not me. He's like, I've always given it away if I had it, and I don't never sell it. He's just such a genuine spirit. He keeps his girl, Rick Simpson. You look him up, Rick Simpson, and his stuff is Rick Simpson oil. And so, to be quite honest, I have seen it in action, and it is just unfathomable. The healing qualities of it. What it really makes me, because I'm actually not surprised that it does. I'm just surprised that we as humans can go for so long and be conditioned for so long to, because he got to the point where he didn't care. When you're talking about the life and death of the people that you love, fuck the law. I mean, you don't want to jeopardize your life and freedom, but you don't want to watch people just willingly. I've said before, and there's really nothing we can do about it. So you probably can hear my frustration, because I know that even if you have conversations with large groups of people, it won't be a story. But what baffles me is not the miraculousness of it actually working, but the miraculousness of how easy it must have been for a small group of power to just condition a whole nation of humans to where we walk. What did I say? I said they are methodically leading us into the gas chambers, and we walking right on in. We just
willingly.
Yeah, we just going. We going. Ooh, what's behind that door? Deadly gas, bitch. Oh, for real? What it smell like? What it?
I just want to know.
What does shit smell like? Yeah, okay, you gonna find out. Shit. But it just blows my mind. And so, when I had that same conversation with my mom, I was just, and I'm kind of laughing, because. What you gonna do? But I'm kind of laughing, and my mom's like, oh no, I never, whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, she better not ever, if something happened, because she can't travel, she gotta take care of my dad right now with him being sick. But I was like, if my mama could travel, man, I would just slip stuff in. I would have her out here, and she would not even understand why her aches and pains are gone. She wouldn't even understand. People have gotten off their other addictions using that. And I'm just thinking of how we all was trained that it's the gateway. When ironically, it's actually can help people get off, wean them from their man-made chemical addictions that was placed, wasn't grown nowhere. It was actually placed. They actually hired a scientist to create it, to put it in our freaking neighborhoods, and it was success. I mean, and it's all this stuff is common knowledge. It's right on there. Better. I would encourage people to look it up right now, because I feel like, especially with the Trump regime and everything, we don't realize how much we so consumed with the ridiculousness, but the freedom of the internet is being slowly policed. And if you notice some of the general Google searches you come up, they come up narrower and narrower. And there are certain things,
Right,
and
sure do.
I was telling somebody, I was like, do you notice that when you hashtag, I was like, they policing hashtag, when you hashtag Black Lives Matter on Twitter, I don't even mess with half of them no more, but when you do it on Twitter, they like force that white, yellow, black fist up behind it. And I'm like, that's not the hashtag unless you put that on there. And I'm like, they doing that so they can monitor how many go up. And it made me start like a couple of, like just before Philando Castro, so that was like probably a year ago, I started looking up certain hashtags, the black people getting killed and stuff. And I would hashtag it, and it would be like maybe 36,000 posts with that hashtag. I'm like, more motherfuckers talking about this than 36,000. And I was like, why? And I was like, why when I was like, let me do hashtag patriot. And I'm like, look at all these white people in the patriot hashtag. But if I hashtag Kaepernick, it don't come up nowhere near as many times. And I'm like, you know what? I was like, they not even sharing this. And then certain things I look up on the internet, and when I put a post up that's pharmaceutical or the medical industry related, Farmco related, they either limited for monetization in the name of quote unquote not advertiser friendly or some bullshit like that. And I'm like, oh well, bitch, if it's not, then don't advertise on my shit that I posted then. You know, if it's not advertiser friendly for what you're trying to sell, for the shit you're trying to sell. But I gotta put, it's supposed to be my page. You know, how about I'm not trying to monetize then? What's the thing? What? And I'm like, but it's like, they're like conversations that you just can't have with regular people. And I'm like, and it just feels like you're doing too much, and you can't really, again, you can't say anything because other people are doing too much. You know, you know, because you're telling to somebody and they're like, yeah, but then they go too far off the other end. I'm like, man, between racists and these extreme hotep motherfuckers, I don't know what. I was like, between woke folk and Christians, it's extremes, feminists in the name of being a hoe. What is good? I just can't. They perverted it. And I'm like, oh man, nobody sees the balance in nothing. Like, yeah, bully and fuck a bully, right? But then raise kids too with a type of self-esteem where raising them to be absolute bitches. Right. I'm like, a bully, right. I'm like, real talk, real talk don't go for people that they don't affect. If a bully says some shit to you and you be like, that, like, for example, it's this one chick that was saying, first of all, she was thirsting, right? She had this video that said, black woman that doesn't believe in slavery. Okay, clickbait. Let me go for it. I got some time on my hands. I got some time on my motherfucking hands, okay? So, and look, and I was like, I'm gonna be so polite with it, but it's gonna be in love, right? I'm gonna do it all in love. And so, girl. So I was like, but she's so mentally juvenile, right? That she don't even. I already know what to expect. They easily predictable, right? So I was like, I'm not. She was like, oh, if I offend you, good, in the video and everything. So I just wanted her to know I ain't mad at her. I ain't mad. So I was like, I'm not offended, but I do hope you, rethink procreating. But hey, they will probably fit into the society's norm. So you do whatever you want to do. I'm like, either way, but I just say either way, I encourage you to see a therapist or don't, right? So, and I say, or don't. Either way, I'm just, I'm pretty, aggravated at your procreators and stuff. I was like, but I'm gonna meanwhile surf through your little followers, comments and stuff, because I'm gonna get my entertainment fix, right? So I know she was gonna be mad. I was like, oh, I can't wait. Sometimes I take bets with, she ain't gonna like this at all, because she swears she woke and everybody else is a robot. So I hashtag it with, you're just as a slightly different version of the same robot. And I knew she couldn't handle that. I knew that was gonna send her over the edge. So she sure enough, immediately, yeah, I just looked at your channel. I think you need a therapist. Why you make videos nobody watches, and she said, I can see why you'd be mad at me. So I came back, I'm laughing all over the place, right? And I said, so I need a therapist because I make videos nobody watches. That's what it is. Cause I know, between me and you, I know nobody watches my video. I've already acknowledged it. I'm not gonna be popular. So I was like, so I'm mad, and I'm mad at you because of it. Because she right.
Here's the worst part. The worst part is,
and that's my thing. I'm like, so, and she done already equated my value with the number of subscribers I have.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, oh, if that ain't the childish shit. And I think I remember this bitch from years ago. I think I was, looking when they were having the biggest heat of the natural hair conflicts. Because I was looking at those videos because I was like, you're going to have some extremists on one side and on the other side, but you also going to have some people posting videos saying how I feel about the natural community. That's going to be balanced. Some grown people. And I was like, that's an opportunity to find a couple of grown ass women, So I thought she was going to be one of them, but she did. I believe she did the same shit if she did a clickbait video, you know, just controversial, trying to coon for a racist so that a bunch of black people could be mad at her, just so she can get views. Anyway, she succeeded. She got views. So I was like, you so predictable. I was like, and hilarious. And she didn't appreciate that. So she was talking about, here she go to prove how old she is. I bet I'm older than you, darling. She called me darling because that make her sound grown. And so, she's 38 though. That don't stop you from being childish, bitch. Like you haven't even.
The fact that she even said that.
Right. And then I'm looking at this other stuff, and I was rolling because I'm like, she think I don't know that these other two accounts are ghost accounts for her. Like, I could tell, because one of them was like, you're just a slightly different version of a Democratic slave. I was like, oh, that's that hashtag that fucked with her. She can't handle that. And then it's supposed to be a whole nother person. And it says, unless you're a ghetto thug who hates white people and your own racist turn that's pathetic or some shit like that. I'm like, so she finished that sentence with a whole nother account. So I'm saying, I'm like, two different people ain't gonna finish a sentence. Like, one ain't gonna write the first half of the sentence and somebody write the other half of the sentence.
Absolutely.
I'm like, and they within minutes of each other. I'm like, I didn't tell her, but I'm like, girl, I know these people are you.
and which means that's how she starts conversation.
Right. And
she's doing it herself.
She did it from jump, because before she even responded to me, she pinned my comment to the top of her thread. And that's because she knew it would, you know, people who are thirsty for controversy would be quick to come.
She just, you could do that.
Oh, yeah. She got it. She used my comment to call her out and for other people to come chime in or whatever, or imaginary other people, because half of them are her. But she went from 55,000 views, and that's how she got that many in the first place, and then to 71,000 in one day from pinning my comment to the top. I started to delete it, but I was like, no, because I need for people to see that nowhere in my comment was I offensive. In fact, I was laughing, and I was like, you know, I just encourage her to get some help. But then she just,
you need some help.
But then she did what kids do. I don't need a therapist. You need a therapist. Or like I said, or don't, bitch. I don't at this point, girl. It's okay if you don't. I don't care. I just, you know, because I want you to find, you know, good people in your life. That's okay, but yeah, I be playing with people's kids sometimes, cause I have time on my hand. If I don't, you know, as soon as I come out, I have to be good and out of that societal rut though, because that'll just take you right there. I have to make sure I'm in a mood to use it as comedy when I do. But yeah, I had time to play with her. I know. And they predictable. They so predictable. Girl, it's destroying. It's horrible. But you know, it's wonderful and horrible at the same time. But it's so horrible because humans are, man, we just do too much. Just some people just need to get somewhere and find some good people that are in it for you. Like, it was like
everybody trying to be famous.
Everybody trying to be Girl, bitch. Look, when we had our hailstorm, when all the people was coming around to look at the house and stuff, and he said, and you know, the news crews was coming through, and he said, this your chance for your 15 minutes, and I'm just cracking up. I'm like, the hell you say? I was like, this ain't what it's gonna be for. I don't know what it ain't gonna be for this right here. I was like, I ain't messing with them news crews. I don't know what Becky gonna get me caught up in. From a simple interview, I just went outside to talk about house damage, and next thing Becky got all the popo over here asking questions. I don't know what you're talking about. What? I just got hit by a storm, Becky. Don't leave me alone. And we had one of our neighbors trying to get us to use well, she said it was somebody she went to high school with, but I think she was getting a cut of whoever he could whatever he contract.
Girl, probably.
Yeah. And I was like, nuh-uh. And I was telling him, I was like, that bitch, I was like, as soon as you get home, he wasn't home 10 minutes before the doorbell rang. And I was like, I can't believe you. You sucker. He went for it, but he canceled the next day. He was like, I'm going to do my research first, though. But, you know, and they said, oh, yeah, do your due diligence. So he did, and it didn't take long, because he was like, they've been in business 2 years. If we have one little problem, and we ain't going to be able to, it's going to be messy. Nope. And I was like, I'm mad at you for even doing it. You know, first of all, when I first met her, the first thing she said, she don't remember what I look like, because I had shades on, I had my hat on, and I left and left her talk because I'm on about that life. But she said, she was talking about one of the neighbors who plays his music loud in the summertime. Sometimes he plays salsa music, and you know, and she came over, she's like, you know, music so loud, and I was like, I don't mind. I was like, I like when people are enjoying music and happy in life and enjoying themselves. She's like, yeah, but not too much. I went right over Becky's head. She wasn't even catching it. And she's like, yeah, but not too much. And the kicker is, bitch, that only a week earlier, they had a live rock band in the backyard blowing up the whole neighborhood.
That's hilarious.
I was like, man, I take that back. That's not the kicker. The kicker is she was living with a grandmother or something or whatever, 2 houses down. She now lives across the street. Guess why, bitch? Because she took that woman's husband from her and moved in. Girl, and moved in. They together now, and they raising the kids together. Yeah. That's some Jerry Springer shit, bitch. And I didn't think it would happen in the neighborhood I was in, and especially would be so entertaining. And being the racist white lady of the neighborhood, they always ask us to go in on the July 4th fireworks. It'd be nice though. It do be really be nice. But we on the corner. We like, y'all can put the what you call them, little borders they put. Y'all can put that right there at the end of this house next door to us. Just leave this open so we can go in and out. But we ain't participating. No, thanks. Appreciate it. I don't want no parts of her. She's so messy. I am glad that we have that we're spaced nicely out in the and I'm glad that dude he don't want to be too when the house is too close together. That's not we're not about that. We're not about that life. Nope.
Yeah, I ain't either, baby.
Yeah, we did get some new black neighbors. You remember the other ratchet chick I told you about before?
Yeah.
That had all them baby daddies and moving different motherfuckers in. But she got foreclosed on, and then we got some white neighbors who was fine. They stayed out of our business. We stayed out of theirs. But they moved out. They had babies and they moved out, and now we got some more black neighbors that I'm so glad certain things they don't take care of, and I'm glad because it prevents from expecting me to be friendly, neighborly, because he don't, It's kind of a sign.
Ain't no nobody.
Girl, that's me. That's me. And he was laughing. He was like, that's what he said when the storm hit and they was ringing the doorbell. He said, they probably want to see what you look like. I was like, probably. When they mess up, I'll be like, ooh, good, thank you, because nope. But I do give him credit, though. I call, you have nicknames for all the neighbors. I call him DD for Daddy Daycare because since they moved in, they have a toddler and they have a little boy. Now, he ain't shit for keeping the lawn and the house together, which is what I like, that I don't have to be friends with him because it's not about a man that don't take care of his household. So, but he is a good daddy. He always have the toddler on his hip like he the mama. And the little boy be walking not far behind all the time. So I call him DD for Daddy Daycare. But he ain't shit for mowing the lawn and shit, all that shit. Nope. But he seemed to be a good daddy though. But I ain't got to worry about it. Is he not going to mow the lawn? I'm like, you got to. He gonna be a good daddy and play ball with the boys in the yard. Nah, he let him up there for a while. It's probably why the rabbits got comfortable. They probably playing over in his forest for a little while.
Okay, it's him. He the one let them damn rabbits in.
Man, take this damn picture of this other nest in the other side of the raised bed. I'm just so furious. I just want to. One I posted was that little baby rabbit under. I don't care. He was cute. I don't care. He was cute, but
So mama done brought her babies up there too.
Girl, they've been multiplying over the years. I won one time because he's an excellent shot as well, but he knows I'm a good shot too. So, but he's an excellent shot. But
What happened? What did they do when you hit him?
When I hit him with the pellet, they don't do much. They are real. I'm telling you, they gangster. That's why I don't feel nothing for him when I hit him. When I hit him with the pellet, sometimes they look up like, "Ow, bitch, that hurt." What are you doing? What are you doing? That really hurt. And then, or they'll run back toward the neighbor's fence until they'll let me empty the clip. And then they'll run under the fence and go over to the thing. But the one that got in the front, he still got his childhood BB gun. But it's a rifle BB gun, so it's not loud. So the new BB guns they have are kind of loud. So he got his. He got him real quick, and the bitch did a backflip. That's what he did. The one that I did hit one that was on one of the soil bags. I told you I figured out they hopped on the soil bags to get up there, but I hit one on the soil bag, and that was pretty close because that was right on the deck. But it hopped up for about 4 or 5 inches and then ran off the deck and ran outside. But when he got him with the real BB, he killed that one. It did a backflip, and then he had to go out with a garbage bag, and get it right. You don't want to fall in the garden. Exactly. And I just drama.
The tails of your tail.
Drama. Bunny drama, girl. Get you a little pellet gun. It ain't gonna hurt them. They ain't gonna hurt them. Get you a little pellet gun just for target practice. just pop them.
Well, here's what happened though.
Don't it feel good? And number one, yes, you pick it, because the more you pick it, the more will grow back.
So when they come out and they look like the full leaves I eat, then it's time to pick them?
Yeah. With things like lettuce, they call it cut and come again, because whenever you harvest, more will, and that's what happened with my callaloo.
You harvest them, you pick them.
Yeah.
Then what do? You clean them and put them in the freezer?
Yeah. Well, last year I cooked them and then put them in the freezer. But what I want to try this year, because if I think about it, spinach is frozen fresh. So what I want to do.
That's true.
So I figured this year, and the reason why is because small amounts at a time. You know what I mean? And I don't want to have, because when I cooked a big old pot, and then I would put them in separate, Ziploc bags and freeze them.
Yeah.
And it still came out good. I ate the rest of my leftovers from last night, and from a bag that I had, I thawed out and recooked last night.
That is all kinds of excellent.
So that worked out fine, but I guess I'm lazy, and I don't want to clean them and cook them if I don't have to. I want to wait till I get ready to eat them to cook them if I can. So I'm just gonna try that. It's gonna be enough of it for me to try it. I'm gonna try it once or twice to see how to take some fresh frozen leaves out and see if they cook the same. And if they do, I think I'll just collect them
They don't cook the same.
And
It's just like spinach. It's don't cook the same.
right, and you can season them differently if you want to. Just like I accidentally found out, and I don't know why I didn't think of this before, because my mama used to put poke salad in my eggs for me, right? But then whenever we had greens, like collard greens or regular greens, there was always on the table pepper sauce. That jar of little pepper sauce and she always used that in her greens when she ate with her fingers, cornbread and greens, and that pepper sauce. And I was like, why I didn't think of that? So last night, girl, I was like, I don't even know why I had a little jar of like nacho jalapeno peppers. I was like, I don't even know why I bought these. And so I tasted one and I was like, oh, they're kind of good, that's why I bought it. I was like, but I don't even make nachos, I don't even eat nachos. So something told me, I was like, we used to have that pepper sauce on the table. So I took the juice from the jalapeno peppers and I poured it out of the jar onto my doggone callaloo greens. Oh, it was so good. I made some refrigerated pickles last year, and they were really, really good, because those white cucumbers I have are abundant. They're so abundant, and they grow so fast that I actually last year I grew a plant. I grew several plants, but they got too big, so I had to thin them all out. But I grew plants and got a harvest, and I pulled them up. And I planted whole new plants halfway through the season. I got a whole nother harvest of cucumbers out of that. And those things are so, and they're the perfect size, because, sometimes the big green cucumbers are they're not too, but they still good. They still nutritious, but they big. I only use like a half of it. So are they flowering already? They flowers? Oh yeah, you finna get some cucumbers. Because that's what happened to bees come around. Actually, cucumber plants kind of trained me not to be as afraid of bees, because sometimes I would have to go in and if I was going to harvest one and the bees were working, but they don't bother nothing. They don't bother nothing too much. I still don't like them flying around me loosely, but if I...
Is that why I'm seeing bees?
Oh yeah, they're pollinating your flowers. So they're taking the pollen from a male flower and they're transporting it to a female flower, and that is where your cucumber's going to come up, and at the female flower. Yeah. No, don't. No, you need them. Don't do it. And cucumbers bees are cucumbers' best friend. Yep. Let them do. They working. They doing their work for you.
I'm sitting here, my mouth is wide open.
Yeah, girl.
Why my daddy never told me?
Why your daddy never told you that, girl? Our daddies are the same when it comes to that stuff. Because my mom had a garden, but I wasn't interested at all. But my daddy now he talks about tomatoes and cantaloupes and stuff. And so when we were talking about poke salad, he's like you know how you grew it, because I had got a clipping from because you can't grow them from seed too tough, But so I got a clipping from Adele's yard, but I still didn't keep it alive. I failed. So I was telling him, and I know my parents have it all over the place. And he said well, you know what you got to do. And I done already told him callaloo is replacing all my greens. Like, I like callaloo. The only thing that I still grow that's green is replacing everything, because it cooks as quickly as spinach. A lot of greens you gotta cook them for 45 minutes. It cooks as quickly as spinach. I put it in my eggs like my mom used to do with poke salad, and it is just as equally as delicious. It is.
Okay, what is a poke salad? I don't know what a poke salad
It's a plant that grows a lot like callaloo, but it's and it has leaves. You harvest the leaves just like with callaloo. But with poke salad, and I didn't know this because my mom always put it in my eggs for me, and I didn't know this. But you gotta fry poke salad and boil it 3 times, and if you don't, it could be poison. You could poison yourself. I didn't even know all that.
That's some shit I ain't supposed to eat anyway.
Right, and I was trying to go back to my roots and have my childhood flavor or whatever pacified. But callaloo tastes a lot like poke salad, and you don't have to even worry about that type of crap. In fact, I tried juicing callaloo, and that's the only thing I don't like it for. That's the only reason why I'm still growing lettuce and perpetual spinach or collards, because I can juice those. And callaloo juiced, it's just milky or something. I don't know what the deal. It's milky. And
Really?
yeah, it ain't good to juice, but it's good everything else. Like I'll cut it into little strips for lettuce on my hot dog or some shit. Cook it in greens. I put it in my enchiladas. Like if you have a spinach enchiladas, mine be callaloo enchiladas.
So you eat them raw too?
Yeah, but most people don't. But yeah, I eat them raw too. I don't make a whole salad of them. Like they wouldn't be good in a whole salad of them. But yes, I eat them raw. I've wrapped them, but collards are better wrapped in wraps. Oh, and I don't know if you know this or not because I don't hear anybody discuss it, but what I have raw collard wraps, and I put the same thing you would put either in a taco or an enchilada or something, or even chicken in a raw collard leaf. But the catch is, because I used to always think, what the hell, that's nasty, because collards be kind of bitter. But the thing is, if you're growing it yourself, a fresh leaf is not gonna have that bitterness. So whenever I eat a raw collard wrap, I'll cut it fresh off the plant, and I'll cut the stem out, and then I'll roll the meat up in it. Well, I'll clean the leaf, of course, and I'll roll the meat up in it, and I'll do that. And there's also something else that I make. It's a collard wrap, but this is cooked. You do the same thing like if you was making a ravioli, whatever meat mixture you would put in there. You fold the leaf up around it, and then you just put tomato sauce all over it, and put it in the oven. And it'll come out like it comes out like a little, like a collard wrapped meatloaf, a little meatloaf in there. It's so good. Oh, it's so good. It's Jamaican. Yeah, it's a Jamaican spinach greens. When I got introduced to callaloo, it was in D.C. It was still the Jamaicans, though. The Jamaicans in D.C. I used to go to the ad office, and I used to walk there on Connecticut Street, whatever, down Connecticut and K Street downtown. But before I got down there, I would get off the train and go into this little. It wasn't a food truck. It was just a little vendor, and they had Jamaican patties. And so I would have this for some reason. I don't know why I tried this for breakfast one time, but I used to have it was callaloo and feta cheese, and it would be in a Jamaican patty with callaloo and feta cheese, and I would eat that for breakfast. It was so good. And I was like,
do you have Golden Crust there?
Girl, we don't have a restaurant Golden Crust, but I did see some frozen patties in a grocery store, but they weren't as good.
Well, Golden Crust is when I want my callaloo fix.
Okay.
That's where I go.
Yeah.
And they serve it for breakfast.
Oh, okay. It used to baffle me that they sold it, that early, because it was in the morning, when I was on my way downtown. But I used to have it for breakfast. I don't even know what made me even try it, because even my Jamaican friends at the time, they weren't an influence on me trying it. I was just hungry one morning, and I didn't want to, I didn't want to go to Panera for a bacon, cheese, whatever panini that I would have. So I was like, let me try this Jamaican patty. Plus, I want to be up on Jamaican food, because I don't really be feeling the curry and jerky like most people do. So I was like, let me just try this, and plus I wasn't much for feta cheese before that, but now I love feta cheese on stuff like a Greek pita.
I use it with coconut cream. Whenever I do it, I have coconut cream and a little. And girl, when I tell you that is the best working, I told you I've been working with naturopathic and wellness specialists for a long time, and they've been telling me that wheat shit is no good, especially for somebody who don't shit well.
Right.
I'll do spelt pasta, because spelt pasta is one of the ancient grains that truly does just move through the system. Some coconut cream and add your curry mix to it. Oh my God! Oh Lord, have mercy!
You're gonna have to hit me to that with your special touch one day.
Oh, it's all kinds of goodness. I'm telling you, and quick. It don't take long at all, because I ain't trying to be in the kitchen for long. That's just how they're gonna roll.
Right. I'm getting my domesticity together, and I owe a lot of it to gardening, because it make me curious about flavors and And oh, you're just gonna be so fulfilled. You're gonna be so fulfilled. Even if you just have a handful of things, to start out with, it's gonna be so great. And it's just gonna be so good to just go out there, even though the animal's gonna piss you off. But when you get out there and you look at all, the animal's gonna piss you off. And the insects too sometimes. But I mean, to just look at it out there and know you grew it. And mine is as organic as it can be. These damn planes, I ain't slow. I probably got some good chemtrail poisons dropping down here. But it's as natural as it can be. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a beautiful thing. And then sometimes even when I'm not thinking about the actual food or eating it, just watching the plants do what the hell they do. Mother Nature just trips me out, and it's beautiful. And I love to just sit out there and be with them, even if I'm not thinking about anything specific, and just absorbing that energy. It's so much valuable stuff that is eliminated in our teachings as we grow into adult humans. Like I am
sitting here just like abso-freaking-lutely.
Yeah, we learn about the money.
I'm sending you pictures.
Yeah,
I'm sending you pictures as we're talking.
Okay.
Of my greens.
Yeah, let me see. Yeah, it's just so beautiful, and that's beautiful. See, you just, oh my goodness. Oh, you got salad material.
That's already. But I'm like, but it's arugula. You see how big the arugula is?
Girl, but don't sleep. You pick it right now. You think lettuce and things like leafy lettuces and stuff. They.
How do I pick it? Do I pick it from the root? Like pull the whole thing?
No. Go in from the side and get to the bottom of the leaf where the stem is, and just pinch that leaf right out. Or you can cut it with scissors. But your fingers.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, your fingers will pinch it out.
So pull like it's got 4 of them coming out of there.
Yeah.
Pull them all.
You pinch them off. Don't pull them because you might pull the whole plant up, and you want it to keep produce. It'll keep producing.
I just pinched it. Okay, here's what's tripping me out about this thing I got now. Look, now I'm right, girl. Let me go. I'm being too rogue. I was about to just put this in my mouth.
You got a salad. Oh, girl, you look. That might happen now. You got kind of understand what people like. We still black. We still want to clean this out. But you get it. Like I get it. I get people strolling through their gardens, being like, oh, I could just have breakfast out here, pinching a leaf here,
oh my God,
pinching a leaf there.
So good.
Yeah, it's so fresh and light.
This is my first time eating from my garden.
Look, and you can actually, like, when you make your first full salad, when you get through eating it, you're gonna actually, literally, heifer, you're gonna feel, I can't explain, you're gonna feel like, this is how I explain it. You know how the old...
So good. I'm so excited.
You should be. You know how to...
I'm excited. I'm sharing this with you.
Yes! I'm excited that you are too.
Look, I think I'm going to have to bring some water out here to just rinse this in, because I ain't going to keep on running back and forth. Now I want to taste the other ones.
Right. Oh, this what you do when you outside like that, because you know how we do. So this what you do. You take a bowl of water out there with you, and then when you pick something off, splash it around in that bowl of water, and then just go in. Do what you do.
Okay, that's what... I can't wait for these cherry tomatoes to come up.
And while I'm telling you this, what I do to now, when I'm harvesting my leafy greens, I do take a big bowl out, and I'll harvest them. I'll pick them all, because they all got dirt on them, and I'll wash them with my fingers, in the bowl, and then I'll pour the water out back into the garden before I come in the house. That way so insects don't come in the house with me. You know what I mean?
And all the nutrients or whatever you rinse off goes right back into it.
Yeah. And say the fresher the better. Like, it's still better than people that don't go there. But when you pick something fresh from the garden and eat it, like I try to eat it within 30 minutes. I try to wash it and cook it right then. I try to pick it right when I'm getting ready to eat it or whatever, because well, first of all, you're retaining all the nutrients, but you can literally, I don't even know how to, like when I'm juicing, and I'm juicing my juice, sometimes I'll have half of it for the next morning to finish the rest of it. But what I drink right then, I can feel it. And it's like, you remember those Gatorade commercials that showed you replacing your electrolytes? That's what it feels like. It to the point where you get chills like on your arms, but you think you're like, what's going on with me? But I think it's your nutrients being replenished that you was lacking.
I'll tell you what it is.
Oh, these are beautiful.
It's alkaline, and your body is responding to the alkalinity.
You don't have to tell me. I'm standing there feeling it, and
you might not know what to scientifically call it, but you know something happened.
Right, and I'm like, I'll get so mad at myself if I mess around and sign out of this mug because I didn't drink enough water or get enough nutrients, and I'm at the point where I know better. That don't make no sense. If you know better, do better. You know what I mean?
And, yeah.
Doggone
it. That's why I'm at that point too. And was, okay, there, it's time to step this to another level. Even though I just finished eating some fried fish. And,
girl, you ain't got to tell me. Look, it's all balanced, though, you know? It's a balance of everything. You know what I mean?
So I don't know what's happening or what these...
It's not weeds? It's something that's... It's a vegetable?
I don't know what weeds... I guess I don't know what the hell weeds are. I don't know.
Well, it might be. For some people, it needs to be a business. You should be able to profit from it if you're helping people and all that. But if it consumes you so much that you can't just... Because the beauty of it is it allows you to just sit in your own stillness and appreciate life. You know what I mean? Which is probably why Rick never actually sold the stuff. You know what I mean? He gave it away to people that were sick, and he taught people how to make it and stuff. But some people get so consumed and they get caught up in the business, which is good. There's nothing wrong with that. But if it's so much so that you can't enjoy themselves, and they can't enjoy themselves. But what it sounds like to me is that maybe they weren't able to stay in one place because the system will chase you if you are successful in the weed business. And you become a target because when you bringing in that kind of money, but when people know it and you are moving that kind of money, you become a target because they know the banks are not going to take your money. So those people that jumped into the booming cannabis business quickly became targets for robberies when they was, because they have nowhere to keep the money. So they have to keep them either at the shop or at their house, and people was robbing them people. I saw this one lady, and so that's another reason you have to be careful. Even going to legal states, because we do our due diligence, and police will set up traps because they know people are going to legal states. So they'll set up traps in the surrounding areas, and they'll search the car, and they might not even arrest you. They might if they want to, but they might not even arrest you. But if you have a substantial amount of money, and like even if you have $200, they can legally rob you, and they make you sign something that says that they have to keep your stuff, and you go sign it because you don't want to go to jail. And so they wipe it off your record so it don't exist. But they just robbed you. They just took all your money because they knew you. Yeah, they knew you was taking money to go because you was going to Colorado or California to buy some weed. So they knew you had money, and you would cross over a non-legal state. Even if you don't have any on you or in the car, they can take the money and say that you were, because there was somebody that was going to open it. I think he had like 22 grand on him or something, and he had just made a deal with somebody to get some equipment for his shop. He was just going to open a shop. He was a black guy, of course, so naturally they had him all at the station and everything. He's like, I had the money to go open my thing. They took his money, and like I said, they make you sign this thing. So they basically robbing folks. Wow. Yeah, they robbing folks. So you got to be careful of that too. And let me tell you this other story time. Let me give you this other little story time they call them, I guess now. We went to Vegas one year. You can't do this shit no more.
You were taking it with you? Damn sure can't.
Girl, wait. I did some old rookie shit. Thank God. God be looking after fools and babies. So I put a bag. I wrapped under my arch, and I wrapped my foot up. I wrapped my foot and ankle up, heifer. And I had it in the bag wrapped up under my foot, right? I had a bag, and then I had some, because I heard that Vaseline takes away. I don't even know if any of this is true. Vaseline takes, so I had that bag covered with Vaseline, and I had it put in another little bag. And that's what I had, and I wrapped my foot, like my ankle was sprained or something. And girl, we was walking through the airport. I must have forgot. So we walked through the airport, there's security. And security, they got the little German Shepherd in there. And I was like, oh, look, the cute dog.
The dog was after your foot.
I was like, I want to go. I'm getting ready to go to the dog and pet the dog and stuff, right? And then so Adam pulls me back or whatever. And then I still didn't realize until afterwards. He was like, what if that was a sniffing dog? And I was like, oh my God, I didn't even think of that. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. I was such a rookie at that time though, but oh my God, I'm so glad because it wasn't nowhere. It wasn't even legal in Colorado at that time. So, woo. I just think about that and I'm like, oh man, it could have been over for me, over.
You can have a record right now.
Man, I could, or be Sandra Bland up in that mud. But I don't, I'd like, yeah, so, but I was like, yeah, that would have been real ugly, but that's the only time I did anything like that, but all it takes is one time. That's what, that's all it takes. So
here's why that's really sad. The time that you were in so much pain, if you need to travel, you just have to endure it.
That's
there
right.
Are people who just have to
that's
endure
right.
it or take that synthetic bullshit.
Right.
Right.
And who knew that traveling actually exasperate if you in a plane. I just had pulmonary embolism. We did not know at that time if it was something that could happen again. So we were scared every day for a long time afterwards because our questions weren't getting answered, and we were talking the whole time about how they just dismissed me from the hospital, and we didn't get any. They gave us a tape to watch, because we're like, what now? What now? What now? Am I susceptible to pulmonary embolism? Is that my condition, or is that something that just happens sporadically? You know what I mean? So, I'm like, oh my God, really? So
you have come a long, long way.
I really, really have, and I'm glad I came to.
I can't imagine.
I'm glad I came the path that I did because it just ain't no grown people out there doing what they need to do, and I get it, because sometimes I know I got some people that watch me that can't necessarily say anything. Maybe your job will be in jeopardy. You know what I mean? I know people got to protect themselves. I'm just, I'm really fortunate that I'm, in a creative industry where, that my time can be mine when it's a hiatus situation. So, and I'm very blessed that I have a supportive husband, who can't enjoy the way I can, but is very supportive. You know what I mean? And it just really makes my heart go out for people who do need it, and even for people who want it and would be responsible with it. You know what I mean? Like I can't. And I wish there was, like I said, I wish there was a larger audience of people like that, but I think there is a larger audience. They're just still in the closet because it's uncomfortable. A lifetime of conditioning is a hell of a drug,
Absolutely.
And I get it. But, people need that outlet. And whenever I see someone say anything derogatory, I just, in my mind, I don't say it out of my mouth because it's a waste of breath. But we all know alcohol is way more dangerous. We all know, sugar addiction has done me in. You know what I mean? It has done me in.
That's real.
And
yes, ma'am.
I'm like, I said it in exaggeration for years of my life, but that shit is real, and I am a victim of it, and I backslide on occasion, not regularly. It used to be regularly, so that's a step. At least that's a step in the right direction. It's just regular now, but it was often. So it's hard. It's hard. Now it does make it easier. I have to say, gardening makes that easier as well. And when I can have access to what I call medicine, but it's recreational as well. But when I do and can have access with it, it also I actually can use the munchies constructively because you appreciate whatever you eating so much. It really don't matter what it is. You think it's just junk food, but you can get you something. You go out in the garden and pick you a salad and be like, oh my God, it's so delicious. Oh, you be like.
I just finished. You don't know it. But that whole time I was standing there quiet,
I
ain't want nothing on that lettuce. I just stood there eating.
Yep.
Oh my God. It all has. And arugula is my favorite.
Yeah. Adele like that too. It tastes too peppery for me, but she like that too. She like arugula too.
It's my favorite. But every single one of these have their own
flavor.
Uniqueness, just like the arugula.
Yeah.
In fact, there are a couple of them that were like the arugula.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's so beautifully mind blowing, and when you think about how simple but magnificent, it's all simple but magnificent. Some people give it a straight haircut across the front, so cause wait a minute.
That's what the guy meant when he said cut it all in half.
Yeah, you can give it you can just cut it right across the cut it right across too.
I was like, what the fuck does he mean? Why would I cut the shit in half? Because he was talking about how the stuff on the bottom
continue to grow. It will be what?
It'll be bitter. It can be bitter on the bottom.
No, let me tell you when it gets bitter. It won't be bitter on the bottom. Let me tell you when it gets bitter. It gets bitter when it starts to flower and bolt, what they call bolting. And when it bolts, flower starts to grow. And when
so a flower grows within the lettuce?
Yeah, and when it's growing within the lettuce, it's starting to bolt. And that mean and then it's going to start getting. That means it's going to start flowering, and that's when it makes seeds. And it'll get bitter then. That's why I said to pick the outer leaves because because at the age they are now, it's more beneficial to just take the outer leaves than it is to cut them in half. It's good and it feels good, and you realize that if you sat there and ate it all day long, it's good for you.
My body is happy about that.
Yeah.
I did that.
Yeah.
My daddy keeps saying, baby,
Yeah.
I'll be so gratified.
Yes.
Yeah. I just ate my first. Because I've been eating some of the herbs all along, but I told you I bought them. But I just ate my first salad.
Girl, I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you.
I'm so glad you were on the phone.
And me too.
But I was standing there and just so pleased with myself.
It panicked because when you, like I said, when you called, I was outside and I want to say I was eyeballing that damn nest, but I had when the phone rang, my eyes had just averted over to the other corner. And I was like, oh my God, that bitch got in the other half of my damn bed. And I was like, because then I was like, oh God, I was like, God made her call right in this moment. This was the moment. But it was so beautiful to know that you was thinking about me when you said I was very thoughtful.
When I saw that yesterday, because it was my intention to call yesterday. So I had a couple calls scheduled.
It was a rough patch, honey. I was going through it and I realized that I'm so strong that I'm weak as fuck. And because I've done such a good job of eliminating bullshit out of my life, and shut down whatever happens. As we're getting older, we're suffering different things. And I haven't been suffering the things that normal people suffer because I keep certain things out of my life. But inevitably, there will come a time when whether it's someone I love or it's direct, that I will need to be able to man up and deal with it. And so, but I slip into denial so easily because it's been easy for all my life to be like, oh, that's bullshit. Nope. So that now, as I get older, when it actually goes down, I'm going to have to confront it. Like, I've never even been to, like, even the funerals I've been to have been in support of people I love. And eventually, it's going to be someone I actually love. And I'm not going to be ready. And you would think that all the advice I got for the other people, you would think that I could handle it. And I just don't know.
We got to work on that.
Yeah.
I realized that about myself.
Yeah. It's a lot to work through. It's a lot.
And here's the reality. We get fucked up over normal shit.
Yeah.
That is a perfectly normal something that we all came here to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's important. It's important. Like, what's your problem?
So baby, you got to deal with that.
Yeah.
You got to address that.
Yeah.
And you've got to come to a place that because I know I could get that call any moment.
Yeah.
And when I get that call, I've already told myself.
Because sometimes I might snap at him and I'm like, I don't handle my family relationships the way you do. They understand how I am. So in his mind, because his family is the Waltons, he used to hate when I called him that. I don't call him that no more because it really makes him mad. But because his family, when we were dating, and he had told me, I guess one night he was going to meet his family for dinner, because they were going to celebrate somebody's birthday. And we just didn't do that kind of stuff. So I was letting him know right then, because if we was going to start dating, you need to know that I'm not that chick. And so y'all not going to be able to turn me into that chick. I'm, let you know right now. Well, of course, because they grew up a certain way, they tried it, because that's what they do. And you can't really readjust what somebody else does, how they do their family. But I just wanted to be clear that this ain't, don't expect. I guess I trained them too, because now when he talks to them on the phone, I'm not expected, to pass the phone around. So I'll just be like, so that is good, because that was a long road coming, because I'm like, I'm not that chick. That ain't going to be me, But I know that people interpret that as a lack of caring. But it's not a lack of caring. I have this combination of introvertism and being an indigo child, and it is a really bad combination for human interaction, and it shouldn't be, because and then it makes me specific with the humans I do interact with. The bad news is that even when I really love someone, I'm not picking up the phone like I freaking should. And it's horrible. It's horrible. And it doesn't make me a bad person, but it really is horrible. Like, I really should pick up I've been calling my mom more regularly. I call her at least every 2 weeks now, but I got a sister that calls her every day on her lunch break,
But what was your relationship like with your parents growing up?
Well, like I said, I've always been an independent spirit. So I've been what other people would feel like I was, that teenager that just kind of isolated herself, but that wasn't it. It was just that indigo thing. It was just, I was still picky even back then.
Were you accepted in your family?
They accept me for who I am. But as we get older, everybody realizes we need to stay in touch more regularly. But it's just hard for me to do. So the reality is they're right. You know what I mean? It's not that they expect me to fix anything. I need you.
So are you operating from guilt right now?
From what?
Guilt.
Yeah, a lot of it is. But I also really enjoy them. Like, when I did call and talk to my dad, it was wonderful. The whole freaking hour and a half. Like, why don't I do that? And I still haven't picked up the phone since. Still.
When was the last time you went home?
when I went with Adele for her show. So even then, it took somebody else kind of, and they tricked me. We got there, and they was like, oh, you ain't gonna call your people? Yeah, I'm calling people. Yeah, oh, we going out, yeah. So, we did what we did. We went to check into the hotel and stuff like that. We got the car and everything, and then they started driving, and they tricked me. They was like, so... And I was like, what? What the fuck? What just happened? What's going on? So they didn't even know I was coming. You know what I mean? I didn't know I was coming because I didn't know they was going to set me up like that. I mean, it turned out beautifully. But why I wouldn't have done that?
How long had it been since you saw them?
At least 5 years. I know, at least 5. It might have been more. When I left for college, girl, I didn't come home for 13 years. So can you imagine what my guilt is going to be like when the shit hits the fan? And that's what I mean.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And you got to deal with that.
I know. I do.
Sweetheart.
I do.
Because here's the reality.